Hey guys, so today I am going to show you how to start working on or get a head start on your 2023 garden without needing special equipment. If you're growing things like, well, if you want to grow things like lettuce and kale and leafy greens, even tomatoes, squash, this will give you a head start, and you don't really need any fancy equipment. All you'll need is an empty container, preferably a milk water jug. You know, anything that's see-through, that's plastic, that you usually would recycle, you can use that, any bottle like that, okay? So you're going to cut around the bottle like this, leave about 10 to 20% of the bottle still attached to the bottom, and then make some drainage holes. Make the drainage holes before you cut around it, okay? So this way you're not struggling to make drainage holes. But this is a milk jug that I'm using. I actually filmed this in March of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Or nope, I am mistaken. I think I filmed this in January of 2022. And you can use clear water bottles like this. See, this one doesn't have a handle, so I'm going to cut all the way around and only leaving about 10% of it or 20% of it attached, so it's kind of like a lid. And just don't forget to make the drainage holes. It's easier to make the drainage holes before you cut the side, so do the drainage holes before you cut the side, okay? It kind of keeps the bottle shape better instead of it crushing down as you're trying to make the drainage holes. All right, if you did try to start a garden this year, I'm pretty sure you saw the prices for nursery plants, which were kind of ridiculous this year. So, you know, this will save you tons of money, time, space, and, you know, stress. So now you're going to need a bag of potting soil. This is just regular garden soil. You don't need to do anything special to it except for adding some water. You want it to be moist, okay? Seeds need moisture to sprout. And if you're doing, tiny seeds like this, you could just sprinkle them on top. And you really don't have to add a lot of seeds. Lettuce seeds are very tiny. A pinch can have about 20 seeds. Okay, so you don't need to add a lot like I am in this video, because you'll end up with a bunch of starts that you'll have to share with everybody, which I ended up doing. I usually start enough plants to share, but if you're just doing this for yourself, you only need about a pinch of seeds. Sprinkle it in the entire container. You can dust it with a little bit of soil, just a thin layer, okay? And you can water it in if you like, but the soil underneath is already moist, so I'm not going to water it in. And I believe it was snowing outside, so snow was going to go inside and collect anyways and water it for me. All right, here's where the duct tape, painter's tape, or any tape that you have comes in. You're going to tape your bottle shut. Okay, just the side where you cut, you're just going to tape this all the way around and close the jug or the water bottle or the container. Okay, this ensures that the seeds don't fly away. The water, moisture stays in there. It acts as a mini greenhouse. And you can also write on the tape what variety of seeds you have in the jug. And remember, you don't need the top of the jug. You don't need the little covers. That's how moisture, water, rain, snow is going to get in there to water your seedlings. I also did some Italian dandelion, which we used to make little salads and stuff like that. They did really well in here. And again, if you have a small garden, you do not need to start this many seeds as I'm doing. A pinch should just be enough for a new garden. Okay, if you're starting a new garden, I suggest not doing too much, because you can get overwhelmed, especially if you don't have support. Okay, and remember, a very, very thin layer of soil. If you don't want to add extra soil on top, just rub them in, or you can water them in and the seeds will work their way down. On this jug, this is the kind of like milk jug that has like I don't know how do you say that. It's like a, it's not see-through, but it's like you know, kind of like a privacy bottle. I don't know. Anyways, you can write the name of the variety of seeds that you have in there on the inside of the jug. That's another way you can label what plants you have in each jug, okay? So this is all you do. You can start tomatoes like this. I don't start tomatoes like this because my garden provides volunteer tomato plants every year in the spring, hundreds of them, so I don't need to do this. But if you want to grow a specific kind of tomato, you can definitely start them like this if you like. I would not start pepper seeds like this because pepper seeds need 6 to 8 weeks of growing time before they are out into the garden. And peppers are tropical plants. They require humidity, heat, and all of that, okay? So this is pretty much good for like leafy greens, squash, you know, things that grow very quickly that don't need that much time to grow, like pepper plants, and need a lot of heat. Okay, I mean, pepper plants will sprout, the seedlings will sprout if you start them in there, but you may not get any fruit from those plants that year. You might have to bring them in, overwinter them, and then, you know, try again the next year by bringing them back out. Okay, but I start my pepper plants in January and bring them out in the spring. Okay, so I pretty much started all my lettuce, all my bok choy in these jugs. And this year, for 2023, I'm going to start my cabbages in here. I'm going to start my lettuce again in here. I'm actually going to try, even though I don't need to, I'm going to try some tomato plants in here. And I'm also going to try some squash plants in here this year. All right, so this is a great way for you guys to start plants without, you know, needing any special equipment in your house, like heating mats, lamps, you know, a greenhouse or anything like that, which you don't really need a greenhouse. So long as you have a well-lit area and a lamp and maybe a little tray or a couple of, you know, empty containers with drainage holes, you can definitely start a garden. You do not need any special equipment except for soil, water, and seeds to start seedlings, you know. All right, so if you want to get a head start on your garden for 2023, if you're already a seasoned gardener, this is a great way to start lots of seeds, lots of starts for your personal garden or to share without taking up space in the house. Okay, so this is about, I think, a few days after I put my first set of jugs with seeds in them, and I put them outside, and it snowed some more, and it's fine. You guys could see the tops are not on them. The snow is going inside of them, which is helping to keep the seeds moist. And when the temperatures are just right, the seeds will sprout, and you will then have seedlings. Okay, so this is heading closer to spring, and we're seeing some activity in here. So you see, the temperatures are starting to rise and the seedlings are starting to grow. The seeds are starting to sprout and we're starting to have seedlings, I mean. Even though nothing around the area was growing, everything was still kind of, you know, in its state of winter. But in the little jugs, things were starting to grow. And I believe this was in March, if I'm not mistaken. This has to be in March. When these guys started to sprout, early March, late February, early March, because in the jugs, it holds the temperatures in there is a bit warmer and the seedlings have protection from the elements. They get their water from the rain, from the snow, and they just grow as the temperatures, you know, get higher and higher. So here I'm just showing you guys different stages. You know, this is about a week apart from when I first showed you. Look at all the lettuce. Look at that. Aren't they cute? And this is also a great way to start parsley and cilantro seeds because, oh my gosh, parsley can be a little tricky to start like directly in the garden, but starting them like this works so great, you guys. Excellent. Parsley needs a little bit of cold weather to sprout, and this works just right for them. I also started marigolds in these jugs, and I'm going to start some more flowers in these jugs as well to help with space, because I do have a large garden, and sometimes it could get a bit overwhelming trying to start all these things in my space, you know. I try to focus my space mostly on my tomato plants and my pepper plants, eggplants, things like that. But flowers and stuff like that, I'll try to start them in here so the seedlings will sprout as the temperatures, you know, get higher. I also started some chamomile in these jugs, and I'll let you guys see that in a second. Okay. I wanted you to see how the seedlings look from the side and from the top. I had to bring one in to look. It was like raining outside. And this is the gourmet mixed lettuce. I believe this was Grand Rapids lettuce, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what that was, but those were bok choy. This is Grand Rapids lettuce. I know that because it has this bright neon green color to it. And just taking a peek in each one. That is giant red mustard greens seedlings, and those are Merlot lettuce seedlings. Okay, so as you guys could see, every week as the temperatures rose, that's spinach. As the temperatures rose, the seeds will sprout and the seedlings will start to get bigger and bigger. Those are freckled lettuce seedlings, and I think that was the parsley, if I'm not mistaken. And that's onions. So these are onion seedlings that I started in here. That's the chamomile, which I added a lot of seeds. And this is broadleaf endive, I think it's broadleaf endive. And as you guys can see, once they're ready, you take them out. I like to scoop them out from the bottom and gently separate them and plant them. And that is it. That is literally it. Do you see how easy that is? Requires almost no effort, really. So this is the freckled lettuce, and you guys could see more of my gardening stuff on Instagram at Garden of Queenie. Okay, if you want to follow, I'll have the link down below in the description box. But this is my freckled lettuce. I have a couple of videos and pictures of my freckled lettuce, bok choy, and kales and things like that on that Instagram page. I post daily, I believe. So if you guys want to see any of that, you're more than welcome to follow that page, okay? Again, at Garden of Queenie on Instagram. So here I'm opening a jug because I had gotten a request on Instagram to show what it looks like or how to open the jugs. So this is how I open them. And this is the gourmet mix. So it's a different a mix of varieties of lettuce that's in here, and you just simply take out the section and separate them and plant them, you know. So really not that hard to do. And with doing this, you don't have to worry about hardening off your plants, which is the process of introducing them to the elements, the sun, the wind, the heat, the cold, all of that. These plants are already outside. They've adapted to the conditions. One thing though, once they are at the point where you can plant them, you can start opening up the lids and let them get a little fresh air, and that's it. Hope you guys learned something. Hope the video was helpful, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye. I should eat you.